It's a con. If you think you're recycling in this country, it's a con. I'll collect this waste. I'll collect all the blue bins and we'll pay you for the privilege of collecting because we're going to make money out of that.
Another of our strengths, net zero is
Yep.
our strength, isn't it, Nick?
That's beginning to die under this Labour government.
It's beginning to die, but this Labour government is still pursuing horrific policies.
Oh, they will, yeah.
So I'll start with a little one first. Bristol Council, this has pissed me off more than anything, it's not even important. Bristol Council is pushing for monthly bin collections to assist with recycling targets.
Yep.
I mean, that is ridiculous, isn't it? The bins should be emptied twice a week, all of them. Not, at the moment, it's a variation of once every 2 weeks, isn't it? Or whatever, you blue one.
Some areas it's once every 3 weeks, some areas once every 2 weeks. Me and you growing up, it was weekly.
Correct. It
Weekly.
was. It wasn't a big thing. You didn't have to worry about whether your bin was too full because it would get cleared every week.
Yeah.
The streets were cleaned. It was apart from the 70s when there was a bit overflowing. You know, it wasn't even something you thought about. The bin would be emptied. It'd be there. It would be invariably never be full, and that was fine. Now we have to plan, don't we? Our rubbish.
Yep.
But Bristol are now going a step further, talking about monthly bin collections. It's scandalous.
Councils, or the precursors to councils, were set up to remove refuge from cities and towns.
Yes.
Because they were a health hazard. That's why these organisations got set up. Because of that. Because the more refuge you have, the more likely you'll have rats, you'll have diseases. And that's why they were created in the first place. I think they were called corporations then. To go every 4 weeks, that's an utter disgrace. And they're blaming recycling. I know a guy who has his own refuge collection company. He's a millionaire. You know,
Yeah.
He's got this
Yeah,
huge
yeah.
thing. And he told me several years ago, he said, Nick, 90% of the recycling stuff I collect goes in landfill.
Really?
He says in this country, it either gets burnt or gets shipped to China for landfill. And that's everything you've taken care to recycle.
Yeah.
He goes, most of it just gets tipped in the same because we've not got the infrastructure to separate
recycle.
it all, to recycle it, because no one wants the stuff. He goes, it's a con. If you think you're recycling in this country, it's a con. The only reason why we recycle in this country is because the penalties that the EU would impose upon countries that didn't reach certain recycling targets. That doesn't mean you have to use the crap you've recycled. You just have to collect it and separate it, and then you get your mark for that. You don't get fined. He said it's one big con, and he's made millions out of it, and he's quite happy to say it's a huge con.
Would you, if you were in charge, when you get in charge, Nick, will you stop recycling?
Would I stop recycling as a blanket thing? I don't think so. I'd need to discuss it with people who know a lot more than me. I'm sure the things we can recycle, but I'd like to make it a business because our waste is valuable. Tin cans are valuable. Glass bottles are valuable. I don't see why councils are not being given money for private companies going, I'll collect this waste. I'll collect all the blue bins and we'll pay you for the privilege of collecting because we're going to make money out of that. That's how we need to be looking at recycling, where it puts money back into our pockets.